You know, to really get a handle on modern Iran, you have to look at the relationship between two men. The mentor, who literally forged a revolution, and the protege he chose to carry on its legacy. This is so much more than a political story. It's about how one man's vision became the blueprint for an entire nation, passed down from a master to his apprentice.
And that's really the question, isn't it? Because the decisions that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, makes today, decisions that have huge ripple effects across the globe, well, they have roots that go back decades. They were planted by his predecessor. So, to see what's happening now, we have to look back.
So on one side, you have Ayatollah Khomeini, the charismatic founder of the Islamic Republic, and on the other, his student and successor, Ayatollah Khomeini. You gotta understand, this wasn't just a simple transfer of power. It was the culmination of a decades-long mentorship, where Khomeini didn't just hand over the keys, he personally molded the man who would take his place.
So where does a story like this even begin? Well, it doesn't start in some grand hall of power. It starts much earlier, in the quiet study halls and the really charged political air of mid-20th century Iran, with a young cleric who was eager to learn.
Now take a look at this timeline. That date right there, 1962, that's the one you need to pay attention to. That's the inflection point. Years before the revolution was even a reality, a young Ali Khamenei stumbles upon the fiery anti-monarchy teachings of this cleric named Khomeini. And that single moment, it sets the course for the rest of his life, and you could argue, for the future of the entire country.
And this is absolutely crucial. Khamenei wasn't just another guy jumping on a political bandwagon. He became a devoted student. He truly absorbed Khomeini's entire ideology. This was basically an intellectual and spiritual apprenticeship in how to be a revolutionary. It forged a bond so strong, so ideologically pure, that it would end up being decisive down the line.
Okay, so this whole student-teacher thing doesn't just stay in the classroom, not by a long shot. It grows into a full-blown partnership right at the center of one of the biggest events of the 20th century. 1979, a single year that just changes everything. The Shah is out, Khomeini returns from exile, and the whole world is watching as Iran gets completely remade. And right there, at the heart of it all, is the bond between these two men.
During those first chaotic years, Khomeini constantly turned to his trusted protege. He put Khamenei in incredibly important roles, like making him the Friday prayer leader of Tehran, and then eventually president. This was all about putting a true believer in a position of power. Someone who didn't just agree with the revolution's goals, but who understood its ideological soul on a level that other, more pragmatic politicians just didn't.
So the trust was obviously there, the partnership was rock solid, but you have to wonder, how deep did that influence really go? Would Khomeini's ideas actually survive after he was gone? I mean, that's the real test of any mentor's legacy, isn't it? And that brings us to the core ideas themselves. Because if you want to understand Khamenei's leadership today, you have to get a grip on these foundational principles that he inherited directly from Khomeini.
Okay, this concept right here, vilayat-e-faqih, this is everything. You could say it's Khomeini's master stroke. It's the theological and political argument that says a top religious scholar, the supreme leader, should have the final say over the entire state. It's basically the source code for the whole system.
And the impact of this one idea, you can see it everywhere today. Every time Khomeini asserts his authority over foreign policy, or the government, or the incredibly powerful IRGC, or even cultural issues, what you're seeing is the direct application of Khomeini's core principle, carried on by his hand-picked student. Which brings us to the ultimate test of that influence. The moment a legacy is either secured for a generation or it's lost forever. We're talking about the succession.
On this day, Ayatollah Khomeini dies. For an entire decade, he was the absolute center of the Iranian universe. His death creates this massive power vacuum and a moment of just intense uncertainty for the entire country.
I mean, that was the question on literally everyone's mind. Who out there had the revolutionary credentials, the religious standing, and the political trust to step into Khomeini's shoes? The future of the entire republic was hanging in the balance.
And in the end, the answer came from the mentor himself. In that critical debate over who would be next, Khomeini's own words, his recorded trust in Khamenei, proved to be the deciding factor. This wasn't just some casual compliment. It was the result of decades of observation, confirming that his student was the one person he trusted to guard his revolutionary vision.
With that kind of backing, the Assembly of Experts makes its choice.
The trust that Khomeini had invested in his student for decades all led to this one moment. The mantle of the revolution was officially passed.
The journey of the protege was complete. He was now the guardian of his mentor's life's work, responsible for steering the Islamic Republic through all the challenges that were to come, all guided by the principles he learned so many years before.
So you see, this relationship between Khomeini and Khamenei, it's not just history. It's the living, breathing blueprint of Iran's leadership today. And it all leads us to one final, powerful question. How does a legacy built on such a personal, intense bond adapt to the incredible pressures of a completely different and changing world? Well, that's a question whose answer is still being written.